For reaction on the death of Archbishop Emeritus Desmond Tutu, we are now joined by June and Andrew Mlangeni Foundation's Sello Mlangeni. Sello, thank you so much for your time and thank you for joining us. A profound loss for South Africa, but for the world at large as well. Talk to us about the significance of this moment.
Yeah, good morning and good morning to your listeners. It is indeed, as you are saying, a profound loss. I'm shocked and, devastated because I've known Bishop Tutu for quite some time. And he has worked also together with my mother, and he was still the Secretary General of the South African Council of Churches. This is a great, great loss to the country. He has played a very prominent role in bringing about change to the South Africa that we know today. A very dedicated man who has sacrificed his life so that South Africa can be a democratic and non-racial country. It is a great loss. And I would like to use this opportunity to pass my sincere condolences to Leah and the family. They must know that their loss is not only theirs, it's also our loss. The June and Newzroom Mlangeni Foundation, we are devastated, and me as a person.
Indeed. It does seem that the loss is one that will continue, I think, to feel the reverberations of for a long time, Sello. But just to talk about something that President Cyril Ramaphosa noted in his statement on the passing of the Archbishop earlier, that this has marked the final chapter of a generation of leaders, outstanding individuals that were bequeathed to us as a country to liberate us. I mean, those words alone are enough to, force one to stop and pause and ponder on the magnitude of this. The final chapter of that generation of outstanding leaders. Is this the legacy that we are often talking about when we talk about people like the Archbishop?
Oh, definitely, definitely. I fully agree with the President there. I was saying also when I saw the news to a friend that this is a great loss. This is one of the remaining of those great leaders. We still have, of course, people like uncertainty brain, but his generation, unfortunately, was one of those last. A very dedicated man, internationally acknowledged and known for what he stood for. For peace and justice. This is a very, very sad day. Very sad day.
Indeed. I think when we also reflect on his contributions as Sello, one cannot help but dwell on the voice of reason that he really was for South Africans at a time when the country was pretty much a tinderbox on the brink of chaos, on the brink of violence, as the majority of black South Africans sought retribution for years and years of racial oppression in this country. And yet he encouraged dialogue, he encouraged South Africans to take on a path towards reconciliation. He was a clergyman by profession, by his role in society, but he certainly showed us how the church can rise up and play a significant role in building up a society, wouldn't you say?
Definitely, definitely, and that's what we are going to miss here. He was a man of a moral compass for this country. We are going to miss that part, the role that he played, because as he once said, also warning the ANC, that watch out ANC, because what he stood for and what was happening in the country, he was not very happy with it. So he kept on, even with the apartheid government. They've tried several times to shut him down, but he stood firm and was convinced of what he stood for. So he continued preaching, even, after he had undergone difficulties, from the racist regime of apartheid. But he still preached peace and reconciliation, And that's what he continued, even with the new democracy, to continue reminding us where we come from.
Indeed.
Which is a pity that now is no more. We are going to miss that voice, I'm so devastated. It came as a shock.
Indeed, that was Sello Mlangeni of the June and Andrew Mlangeni Foundation joining us there just to help us reflect on, as you heard, a shocking and certainly devastating moment in our history and something that I've mentioned before, a profound loss for this country. Sello noting there the contributions that the Archbishop made, calling him a moral compass for this nation.